Well, it's just a controversy. Controversy can only be negative. There's no positive controversy. So, and if you say it has generated lots of controversy, well, possibly that's what you choose to focus on. But that's also generated lots of interest and lots of commendation, lots of accolades. So it all depends on what you want to focus on. So how do I feel about that? Um, I'm happy that I'm able to make a positive impact. I'm happy that I'm able to bring the police closer to the people. I'm happy that I'm able to show people the pathway for finding redress or solution to their problems. So I'm happy that it's it's closing up the trust gap and it's movements in the right direction. Well, I'm happy that for once somebody admits that cases of unprofessional conduct has reduced. Now that came by as a result of bringing the police closer to the people. So immediately I came on board, one of the first things I did was to publish the phone numbers of all DPOs, all area commanders in the state. So when people reach out to me, I tell them to call the DPO first. So it became like a mantra. In fact, people know. So sometimes when I come online to just catch crews, like we put it, and I say, oh, somebody bashed my car today or scratched my car today, when people just can't say, call the nearest DPO. So it has become popular. And that has been the solution to it. So people now know that, oh, if a policeman misbehaves, you don't need to call the PRO who is at the headquarters. You don't need to call the area commander who is far away. Call the DPO who is closest to you. And the numbers are out there, even on my WhatsApp profile, the phone numbers are there. So people quickly scroll through, call the DPO. And the DPO too, who does not want to get into trouble, quickly looks into the problem. So this has received lots of commendation. I see people telling me to talk to my counterparts in other states to emulate me and do the same. So that has been the secret, making the police accountability. What has been the most challenging moment? I don't think what has been. It's ongoing. What is challenging for me? One, I would say fake news. People just dig out one old video and say it's happening right now at my 12. It's happening right now. And my phone is on fire. People start calling. Oh, we heard that they're fighting my job. We heard that it's fake news. So I find myself battling fake news with the time I should use for more constructive things. Another challenging thing is the attitude of Nigerians themselves. You know, somebody willingly drives against traffic, and they call you like, ah, he's my brother. Please help me talk to your people to let him go. It's challenging. Why don't you just allow us to do our jobs? There was a time a police officer was summoned. I summoned the police officer for extorting someone of 400,000 naira. And when the police officer came here, he came with his brother, who is a pastor in a church, yes. He doubles as a lawyer, to a pastor and a lawyer. And they came and brought the 400,000 naira cash. And the brother was saying, please, since he has returned the money, can you just allow him go, please? So you see, these things are challenging for me. Number one, fake news. And number two, the people that condemn you for not doing the right thing would be the ones to come and beg you if it's their brother or their sister. So those are the challenges, so to speak. It's like if you've been close to a pilot before, or before a ride, before a flight, you would notice something. That's They have so many buttons and displays and everything in the cockpit. And you would wonder, oh, do they really know everything? Do they know each every one of them? But if you're close to a pilot, you would discover that there's actually a checklist. I've had the opportunity, but there's actually a checklist. And the co-pilot is reading out these things, and the pilot is putting them in place. Number one, this, and it does that. Number two, this, and it does that. So my point is, there's always a checklist so that the proper standard will be maintained. You just don't leave everything to discretion. So violent situation, we have a checklist, so to speak. So you go there, you start with verbal persuasion. Please calm down. Please just step aside. Just leave this place. We know you have the right to protest, but please, you're obstructing traffic, So that is always the first step. And when that doesn't work, you might need to use minimal force. Minimal force in this regard could be, if we have a water cannon, maybe you spray water on them. That is not harmful in any way. It just causes some discomfort and you run away. And in the absence of that, you might need to use tear gas. Yes, it causes discomfort in your eyes for 2 or 3 minutes, and you're okay. Nobody goes blind from tear gas. You're okay. Well, if you're asthmatic, yes, you can have issues. But even before it is fired, you are warned, step back or this will be fired. And so you have the option to stay or go. And where the crowd is unruly or is actually attacking the police, then you could actually graduate to the use of batons. And I use a baton on you, you could feel the pain for 2 days. Definitely you won't die. You won't have a dislocation. You might just need to buy a pony to track the to drop over the place. And where it is very serious, where people shoot back at the police, then you might use your firearm. So there are stages and there's a checklist. So that's how we handle violent situations. In some cases, after stage 1, it works. Some cases, it goes to stage 2, 3, and to the end. First and foremost, information. If you can give, because crime does not happen in the sky. It happens next to somebody, close to somebody. So if people don't just say, let me mind my business, if people can give information, it will help the police to nip crime in the bud. Yeah, I understand the reservations some people have about, there will be confidentiality, the police will tell the criminal that so yeah, I understand that, but we are also improving in that regard. And that's why we urge people to pass information to more senior officers. They are more responsible. That's the fact. So I get information regularly. People send text messages, emails, and all of that. And I pass it to the right unit to investigate and possibly apprehend the suspect. So information, all over the world, information is key. In the Western world, 911, yes, what's your complaint? So I just want to tell you that my neighbor is doing this, my neighbor is doing that. So information, that's how people can help. And I must commend Lagosians. They've been helping in that regard. We get information a lot. Very commendable. We also have the Lagos State Neighborhood Safety Corps. It's a grassroots organization. They stay in the streets. They gather information. They collect information and send to us on a weekly basis. So information is it. Well, I would say practice makes perfect. So I got into the police academy, and every morning, unfailingly, 5 a.m., the whistle goes off. 5 a.m., unfailingly, the whistle goes off. And you have to come out within 5 minutes. You should be outside your dormitory, in your squad. Everybody has a squad. So your squad. So you see all the squads. You are wearing white top, white knicker, 5 a.m. in the dark. So, and we start jogging. We jog around the entire academy, large expanse of land. And, you come back possibly like 6, and you have to prepare because breakfast will be served by 7. You have to go to the kitchen, get your food. And by 8, you've fallen in line again to march to the parade ground for the muster parade. So, every day. It now got so, initially, of course, I would stretch like, oh God, 5 a.m. again. But it now got to the point where we set our own alarm for 4:30. So we wake up and brush our teeth, and just till it's, in fact, we're outside. So we even see the instructor blowing the whistle. We're already outside, gisting outside, So my point is, we now, from complaining, we became used to it. And ever since, that's many years ago, my body clock has not gone back to what it was pre-police. That body clock is at 5 a.m. Alarm or no alarm, I wake up sometimes to 5. So the job of the police, if you say it's demanding, it's practice. It has become part of us, and we don't see it as stress. Yes, there's a limit. You shouldn't stress yourself. But what you see as stress sometimes is just normal for us. So I would encourage them to join the force, and I wish people would like take a tour of the force and see that part not being talked about, and realize that it's actually a cool place to work. So I would encourage them. We need more interested people in the force. We don't want people that were forced into the force by their parents, because that's the fact. Some people are forced. Some people you are the bad child of the family. I think you should join the police or the army so that they will teach you sense and you become a good boy. And we don't want that. We don't want people that go to police college and run away. And the mother has to drag him back. Like, you have to stay. We appreciate those that are interested, because with interest comes passion, comes zeal, comes dedication. And those kind of people will be able to give us the kind of policing that we need. So you're welcome on board. You're welcome.
What about those who shine? I can't get access.
Well, it's competitive. It's not just the police. I think every job opening in the country is very competitive. So if you try and you don't get it, try again. And try again. And try again. You just might get it. You just might get it. Well, if you check online, you would see that when people bring out their phones to record police officers, for recent, police officers will bring out their phone to say, record me, I mean, I'll record you. Police officers ones will record to show their DPO back. So it's not like police officers are against it. So it would be easier if it's already on me and I don't have to hold the phone to record. So we're not against it. We would love it. We've seen it work. We travel to other countries. We see it work, and not just body cam, even dash cam. The one you place on the dashboard of your car, so that when you go out to talk to somebody, the camera is behind you, showing everything. So we are for it, and the police as an organization so wants to do it, and would do it immediately. The funds are available, because our funds are limited, so we need to prioritize what we spend them on. On our priority list, body cam is not number 1. Neither is number 2. Neither is number 3. So we need to sort out our present issues. And when the funds are available, we'll also take up body cam. I don't see how it's going to be challenging. There's a hard disk in the car where the recordings would go. The one you are wearing, there is also a memory card where everything is going. So if it's needed, it's just to be downloaded. So I don't see how it's going to be challenging. I don't see how it's going to be challenging, except some officers refuse to put theirs on or just to wear it. But for those that would use it, I don't see how it's going to be challenging. It's a small thing. You just put like a button, and a button will, it doesn't stop you either way. That's a wide question. There are lots of things, lots of. So I don't know where to start from, but we watch some movies and we laugh. I saw RMD wearing police uniform in one movie, and I laughed because they mixed some things up. Yeah, they mixed some things up. You might not see it. There are certain tiny things that only people of a certain rank would use. There are certain things, for example, the popular redneck. They will say, "Oh, he's a redneck in the army." That is, army. The moment you are a, what's it now? The moment you're a colonel, you start using gadgets. it's red in color, so they call it redneck. So it will be for the police to use it, but in our case, it's black from Assistant Commissioner of Police. That's just an example. So the moment you now say a deputy superintendent of police using a gadget, it's laughable. It's not possible. So that's just one example. There are so many things that people get wrong, and that's why when I watch American movies that featured scenes, showing cops and all of that, I take my time to see the appreciation at the end of the movie. I just want to see something. And truly, I would say it that special thanks to Los Angeles Police Department, special thanks to or policing consultants. You will see retired sergeants. So they don't claim to know everything. They bring in the experts. But here, it said GSP wearing a neck, and you'd see all sorts of things. I just laugh. And it's obvious that they did not do their homework. It's obvious that they're doing guesswork. And so that's what I say about the entertainment industry. Though we've had people, coming up to say, how do you do this? Okay, come and trace this person for us. Yeah. And say creating R&D. Did a movie recently. I was back at Force Headquarters, and they just came to us like, see, just dress them for us. And we did. We did. Give them the uniform, told them this is what to use, this is not what to use. We didn't even tell them. We arranged the year before. Arranged it and gave them, now wear this. And it came out very good. Very good. So those are the challenges. We already have a partnership. We don't need to be open to this. We know the Actors Guild of Nigeria, the Directors Guild of Nigeria, movie producers, actors, and everybody. They come around. So we have that partnership. We have an open door policy. People can walk up to us at any time. Even skit makers approach me to say, oh, I want to use this, I want to use that. I have a car that looks like an American police car, black or white, the color American police car. And I want to use it to do a skit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no problem. We talk to the DPO so that they are not accosted, all of that. So we have an open door policy. We work with everybody. Focus. I focus on the positive and ignore the negative. Because looking at negative could actually get you discouraged. It could actually get you angry. So I just look away. I focus on the positive. I have a me time, but it always gets interrupted. Always. My me time always gets interrupted. Even at midnight, it's always interrupted. And my me time is usually Netflix. I look for one good movie and I watch. Good movie and I watch. So that's my me time. Unfortunately, it always gets interrupted. I use it every day. Tact every day. Every day. People call me every day to say, oh, your policeman stopped me. They said I did this. They said I did that. And tell the parents or the situation. I can decline to talk to the police officer. I said, go to the station, talk to the DPO. I could say, okay, give the phone to the police officer. And when I give the phone to the police officer, I could ask for his name. Can I not ask for his name? I might shout, raise my voice at him. I might not. I might say please, I might not. So it all depends on the situation sometimes. I might say, okay, bring in phone to your DPO. I might even ignore them and just call the DPO. I might say, okay, all of you just go to the station. And I call the DPO for the KPS. So tact, there's no kind of fast rule to tact. You just have to look at the situation on the ground and apply it. So I apply tact. Well, the fact is, there is no metropolitan or cosmopolitan city that is 100% crime free. There's none in the world. None. Not New York, not London, not Johannesburg, not Beijing. None. So these are the things that come with development. These are things that come with progress. You cannot rule it out. In fact, people would tell you about Beckham in London. I've not been there, but people will tell you about Beckham, Southeast London. So we've reduced this to the barest minimum, and we're continuing to work on it. I still got a complaint yesterday. That's where I was driving around motorways, and this voice came banging on my window, and because I did not open the door, they pulled out my side mirror. Yeah, I got that complaint yesterday. But we're working in it, and I'm happy that the complaints I receive in that regard have reduced. I will continue to work on this. We can't guarantee you that bad boys won't come out. We cannot. But we can guarantee you that we would always be there to respond. And hopefully, with government policies that will bring more jobs and reduce unemployment amongst our youths, things will work. But we would always do our best. Well, we had a lot of time to plan for the election. Lots of time. So I wouldn't say we had any challenge per se, except for political supporters who took it upon themselves to disrupt the electoral process in a few polling units. And secondly, our control room received lots and lots of calls about issues that had nothing to do with the police. For example, we just seen our INEC staff here. He has not resumed. I don't know, that's not our own duty. Our officers are there. Okay, so you've not seen him, okay. But our police officer is there, yes. Waiting, yes, fine. So we don't have issues with that. I mean, we're not to attend to that. So I'll say that was a big challenge. People did not know when to call the police or what to call the police for. But by and large, if we had to do self-assessment, we did quite well. We had 13,325 polling units. And we had issues in 28 polling units. So in terms of percentage, success in 99.9% of the polling units. That notwithstanding, we intend, or we have looked at the gaps in the last election. We've worked on them, and we are optimistic that the gubernatorial election will be better than the previous one. Well, I always keep it short and simple. I always say, if you see something, say something.